UCLA basketball poaches the top high schooler in California away from USC. Feds say Shohei Ohtani's interpreter is going to plead guilty. And how the hell are the Galaxy and LAFC among the world's highest valued soccer clubs? We'll explain, and good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city of the world, Los Angeles. This is the Faithful Angelenos Morning Report. So, it is May 9th, 2024. Welcome back to the Sanctum Sanctorum of LA Sports. And if you like being in the know about LA, click the like button. Click the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist, and by all means comment. Now, we have a little bit of an expanded look at the scoreboard today. You'll understand why in a moment. Teoscar Hernandez homers drove in all 3 runs, and the Dodgers sweep Miami yesterday afternoon 3-1. Gavin Stone pitched 7 innings to improve to 3-1 on the year. Again, the Dodgers swept the Marlins, but they've also won 14 in their last 16 games. They are now 6.5 games ahead of Slime Diego. If the Dodgers whoop the Padres proper this weekend, the division is going to get boat raced, and as far as I'm concerned, it's a beautiful day for a sail. Meanwhile, Christian Oliveira scored twice to lift LAFC to a 3-1 victory over Las Vegas FC in the US Open Gold Cup in the round of 16. Here's the thing. It sounds like a convincing win. It's anything but convincing. Wifey and I went to the game. The Las Vegas Lights, LAFC's opponent, have never been to the USL playoffs. Not only that, of course, USL is considered beneath MLS. The Lights have never had a winning record, ever. Now, normally in these Open Cup matches, you would start a lot of backups. But LAFC actually started MLS Golden Boot winner Dennis Bwanga and Kai Kamara, among others. The Lights held them scoreless in the first half. Not only that, when LAFC took a brief lead in the second half, the Lights tied them. One of Oliveira's goals came in stoppage time. So in other words, if it weren't for a fluke goal at the end of the match, you're talking about barely knocking out one of the worst professional sports teams in the United States. It should never have been that close. And by the way, LAFC manager Steve Cherundolo knew it too because he got a red card just before halftime. You lose your composure against a team you should have easily outclassed? LAFC has legit problems. They won, congrats, but they have legit problems. And they'll host Loudoun United in the round of 16 on May 21st. Meanwhile, there are no games involving LA teams today, so let's get to the news. Former USC basketball commit Trent Perry has decided instead to attend UCLA. The 4-star recruit from Harvard Westlake, who was a McDonald's All-American, withdrew his commitment to the Trojans when Andy Enfield left. The point guard led Harvard Westlake to 2 state titles. He's also been named State Player of the Year. Perry told ESPN he wanted to stay in his hometown, and he lauded UCLA coach Mick Cronin as a tough but fair man of his word. Now, if you're a UCLA fan, you have to be ecstatic about this, and not just because it's a middle finger to USC. It's terrific for the Bruins because while they have rebuilt their team on the fly using the transfer portal, this means that Cronin has not forgotten about traditional high school recruiting. But it is a little curious. It is. Perry was probably more likely to start for USC when you think about all the turnover that happened there. That turnover would have happened if Andy Enfield stayed or not. Unless Cronin is looking at his roster and he envisions, say, a 3-guard lineup, Perry is behind both Dylan Andrews and transfer Sky Clark. So he's not going to get the playing time off the bat that he would have if he had stayed at SC. Yippee! Shohei Ohtani's interpreter is going to plead guilty. Oh, I'm sorry, I misread the name. Ippy. Shohei Ohtani's interpreter is going to plead guilty. Ippy Mazuhara saved us all a lot of pointless drama by agreeing to plead guilty on 2 charges related to the gambling scandal where about $17 million was stolen from the player. He faces 33 years in prison, a fine, supervised release of 5 years after his release from prison, and this is amusing, he's got to pay Ohtani back. 17 mil. Good luck with that. No, really, good luck. Looking out for you. And by the way, if this case didn't sound stupid enough, the idea that, you're going to blow 17 mil on a gambling addiction and hope you don't get caught, the feds have looped in a reality TV cast member to the investigation. Ryan Boyajian of the Real Housewives of Orange County is allegedly a bookie's associate who will receive immunity for his testimony. Now, if there's one thing that this case lacked, that this case was crying out for, it's where's the emasculated cougar simp? We really need one of those in this case, right? And as a side note, gentlemen, if Hollywood ever asks you to join a reality show, and you say yes, do us all a favor. Just get it over with, rip off your penis, and chuck it off the Santa Monica Pier, because you're not going to be needing it anymore. This dude, Boyajian, had better be thanking his God for the immunity deal, because nothing says prison, bitch, quite like being upstayed by a 55-year-old piece of plastic in a size 5 dress. So yeah, we needed a reality star in this. LAFC may have had its hands full with one of the worst teams in USL, but on the plus side, they're rich. So that at least is something. Sports business analysis website Sportico has released a list of what it claims are the top 50 most valuable clubs, and 5 MLS teams are in the top 20. 20 are on the list overall, I might add. In those 5 teams in the top 20, it includes both the Galaxy and LAFC. If my recollection is correct, LAFC is like 15th at $1.15 billion, the Galaxy 19th at $1 billion. I watch a lot of soccer. I even own a small piece of 2 teams, not the Galaxy or LAFC, of course. So if you're like me and you get up early Saturday morning to watch the Premier League or Bundesliga, and you see those full stadiums overseas, you might think this list is a little ridiculous. And we have to admit, this list is actually somewhat flawed because it considers long-term potential in creating this value. MLS's salary structure suggests the league is better suited financially long-term than many European leagues. Moreover, if you're looking for a reason, European leagues have relegation. Now, for those of you who don't know what relegation is because you watch other sports, the lowest couple of teams in those foreign leagues will be demoted from a Premier League, an A League, and dropped to a B League, etc. And of course, the champion of that B League gets promoted up into that Premier level league. MLS does not have that. You win the wooden spoon in MLS, you are not going to USL. You stay in MLS. And as a result of that, that means that they have a higher income floor than many European teams. In other words, you don't lose that fat TV contract because you've been dropped from your best league to your second best league. So, because they don't have to fear relegation, MLS teams are, by that measure, more valuable. Just one day after Christian Wood said yes to a $3 million contract option, his ex-girlfriend asked for a restraining order, alleging the Lakers' backup center attacked her May 2nd in front of their kid. This is the baby mama who Wood was also sought a restraining order and was granted a restraining order against. Not only that, Wood was granted sole custody of the child. Now, Yasmin Lopez, the ex, alleges Wood grabbed her by the leg, bruising it, and then dragged her around by the leg. Then he allegedly told her not to tell anyone because the, quote, Lakers run this town, unquote. I'm sure this was news to Javaris Crittenton, Shannon Brown, Rajon Rondo, Alex Caruso, Ben McLemore. All of them Lakers who have been arrested. 3 of them, by the way, in that list have won championships, but the Lakers run this town, so don't tell the cops. Anyone remember how when he was in LA, how Contavious Caldwell Pope needed a work release program from a judge so he could play road games? But the Lakers run this town. So, as you might imagine, Wood's lawyer told TMZ this is all about retaliation because she lost custody of her kid and had a restraining order filed against her. Now, I'm going to be real with you. There's not a lot of jokes to be made about domestic violence. It's not funny. But on some level, you do have to wonder about getting matching restraining orders just in time for Mother's Day. You know, there's matching towels, monogram things. How about his and her restraining orders? I'm just saying, I'm not saying that I know what happened between them. I'm not saying I know who was right and who was wrong or who to believe. But I will tell you this. Think twice before you get a social media influencer pregnant, guys. Sean Berriman could have told you that. Speaking of the Chargers, prior to the draft, the Chargers had just 4 receivers in their room, in their wide receiver room, that and a general sense of panic about the number of wide receivers they had. And you could just imagine that sense of dread deepening if you're a Chargers fan when the Bolts selected tackle Joe Alt in the first round. The Chargers now have a receiver room of 12 people. 12. So many wide receivers now that the scribes have actually reversed course and they've started to speculate who will make the cut. For example, I think it was CBS that speculated the Chargers might actually get rid of their most experienced receiver in Joshua Palmer. Now, as far as speculation goes, that is peeing the pee of uninformed opinion into missing the toilet bowl of intelligence. That is just not using your head. Then ESPN asked if draft pick Ladd McConkey is the Chargers' number 1 receiver. A rookie, who's, by the way, most likely playing the slot. And already right out of the bat, he's the number 1. Now, everybody in that ESPN article spoke nice about McConkey. GM Joe Ortiz said, quote, these guys that know how to get open, find space and create space, they can just do it. And he's one of those guys, unquote. All of that is cool, but it misses the point. The point is, this is a drastically different looking football team in just 4 months. Drastically different. This is a running team now, despite having Justin Herbert. And this isn't just words that they're going to run, like the words that came from former offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, because that team couldn't run either. They're going to run come hell or 3rd and long. Straight up. Rams general manager Les Snead reminded us all that they are a franchise that likes to F their picks. Draftniks, the ones who have that chart, you might have seen it on draft coverage, a chart that claimed that a 3rd and a 2nd is worth a higher 2nd if you trade it or whatever. They all said the Rams overpaid to move up and draft Florida State defensive tackle Brandon Fisk. According to Snead, quote, I can say this, we knew that this group of players had a chance to be there. There were going to be a certain few that would get picked up before or after, right? You just don't know the order. It worked out nicely because we get an outside linebacker, Jared Verse, and a defensive tackle, Fisk, instead of 2 defensive tackles, unquote. So that was the rationale behind the Rams' top 2 picks. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me, for example, about UCLA basketball poaching the best high school player in California away from the Trojans. Are you happy that the gambling controversy with Shohei Ohtani's interpreter seems to be coming to a close? If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We talk LA sports every single day now. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Corte Queso production. Take care.